Meagan Good, baby, in real life. Woo!
Hello.
Hey, beautiful, stunning. You look gorgeous every time I see you. Come on, Meg.
Thanks, Keatra.
How you feeling on a scale of 1 to 10? That's what we ask everybody in real life. In real life, on a scale of 1 to 10
I'm
today.
gonna go with like a 9. I'm feeling good. You know, I mean, we've been doing this press run and we've been like traveling and doing all the things, but overall, I'm feeling pretty damn good.
You're happy. Is that normal for you, 9? Is that like your...
You know what? Maybe, but I am happy. So
that's great.
Yeah.
What makes you happy?
God makes me happy. My family makes me happy. My boo makes me happy. This movie makes me very happy. Being able to touch the people and just hopefully spread light and love makes me happy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And since I known you too, you said God makes me happy. Was that the first thing or second thing you
first
said?
thing.
It's the first thing you said.
Always the first thing.
It's never wavered. It's never shifted. You have always had this like strong connection and just I don't even know what the words are, but you've just been connected like your whole life, right? You grew up that way. And...
I didn't grow up in the church at all. I started going to youth group when I was like 12. And then I had 2 girls that I went to school with pass away in a car accident. And one of the girls was someone who kind of was like a big advocate of me and really looked out for me in the neighborhood we grew up in. And she ended up getting saved. And I was like, how does that work? You know, you lost a lot of people in the car. You went through all this damage. And then you turned to God instead of away from God. So it made me curious about God. And that was the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then because one of the real life questions we ask is in real life, what do you pray for most? And as somebody who prays all the time, because you pray every day, multiple times a day, what?
Yeah.
All day, every day?
No, I pray first thing when I wake up. I pray in the middle of the day. I pray in the car. I pray over... It could just be like, Lord, please help me find a parking spot. It could be anything. And Lord will do it.
You talk to God about the parking spot?
Yes. Nothing's too small for him. So,
what do you pray for most, though? What is the thing you ask for most?
For a long time, it was, Lord, just help me get it right, you know, and just asking God, am I making him proud in essence? And then I think in this past like 2 years, going through so many transitions, I realized it's not that it's about getting it right. It's about God knowing our heart. And knowing us better than we know ourselves, you know, and I kind of learned, or at least this is the season or phase that I'm in right now, is just having a peace with just being and just trusting God and trusting that he has me and trusting that he knows my heart is for him and that, you know, I want to get it right and I try to, but I think sometimes we spend a lifetime trying so hard to get it right, we forget to be present. And then we carry a lot of guilt and like condemnation against ourselves. And that's just not what God has for us at all. So this season has been, you know, living free fully and just seeking after that and getting to know God in a different way.
I love that for you.
Thank you.
And being present and all of that. You've had a few seasons. You have many seasons.
Oh, girl. Who are you telling? She's lived many lifetimes.
What has been the best season and the hardest season?
One of the best seasons is right now. I think just being in this new place with God and just being in love and being in a peaceful kind of freeing place, you know? And then I think the worst season was when I realized that God was answering my prayer about not being so affected by what people think about me. I prayed that prayer for so long.
What is that prayer? Because I could use a little bit of that prayer. What is it? How do you ask for that?
I was like, please just help me not to be so concerned with what people think about me and help me understand. Like I understood it logically, which is, you know, those who are for you are for you. Those who are willing to give you the benefit of the doubt will. And those who don't, won't. And there's nothing you can do about that. The only one who could change their heart is God. And sometimes God doesn't want to change their heart because God doesn't show your heart to everybody. Only people he can trust it with, you know? And so you're not for everybody and that's okay. And I understood that logically, but I would just pray and pray and pray for just the ability to just receive that into my heart and accept that. And
how's that going?
Well, it's going good now. Because, you know, after growing up and being in the media takeout, you know, generation and then you know, getting married and being very heavily involved in the church and dealing with some Christians and, you know, going through the divorce very publicly. And then I went through this issue where this woman destroyed my skin and I was like 5 shades lighter for like 2 or 3 years. And I think that was probably one of the worst things because growing up where I grew up in a predominantly white neighborhood. And so there's a lot of bullying, a lot of being called the N-word in not a good way all the time. And when I really came into myself and into my skin and was just like, wait a second, I'm Black. What we talking about? What we doing?
Loving it.
And because it was a journey for me because of where I grew up, to go through that situation at like, I don't know, I want to say I was like 39 or something, 38, 39. It was so mortifying and so...
What was it?
This woman, she just was an unlicensed esthetician. And she basically, I went to her for a scar on my leg, and then she gave me some anti-aging products. I used those. They were phenomenal. When I came back, she's like, I really want to help you with this discoloration on your forehead. And I was like, that's like natural contour. And she was like, just trust me, you're going to love it, blah, blah. I started using the product. Next thing you know, I'm at an event in New York, and I get a picture taken of me like in the darkness, and it's blown up, and I can just see how pale I've gotten. And I kept telling her along the journey, I was like, I don't know. I was like, I feel like I'm having allergic reaction, blah, blah, blah. She's like, no. It's going to do this. And then it's going to do this. And months into it, I'm like, it ain't done that yet. And now I'm filming. And then long story short, I was like, you have to fix this right now. She gave me the serum. She said, go sit out in the sun for 15 minutes. My ass went and sat out there for 30 minutes, came in the house, and the serum had suctioned onto my face. And I was scrubbing it so hard because I couldn't get it to come off. And by the time I was done scrubbing it, I had like flesh everywhere. I mean, just complete discoloration. It was just really, really horrible. And I'm used to, when people have a misconception about me, I'm one of those people where if I say something and I mean something and I stand by it, you don't like it, I don't really care. But if you think that I mean something that I don't mean, or you think I'm something that I'm not, it bothers me because I want to at least clarify. It doesn't matter to me what you do with it, at least you know.
So you're worried people are going to think.
Just thinking about little Black girls thinking that I didn't love my skin or encouraging them in a bad way. And it was the first time where I couldn't defend myself. Because it's not like I could get on social media and be like, that ain't true, because I looked crazy. So I just kind of had to just sit in it. And it was right around the pandemic. So it was like, okay, there's nothing to be done here. There's nothing I can do. I just have to accept this. And my skin might not come back to what it ever was. And I still have to find my joy. And I still have to be present in life. And I still have to be me. So I just have to get over this and accept.
And also you're an actress too. That's a whole other layer of challenge.
All the things. I was very
oh baby, I'd heard a little bit, but I didn't know. I didn't really realize the whole story. That's tough.
Well, it's crazy is that in that time I was praying about it. I was like, Lord, why is this happening to me at like 39 years old? What's happening? And then I was like, oh, this is an answered prayer.
You asked him to help you.
It had to be so extreme that I could not do anything in order for me to get to a point of stop caring and still living and still being happy and still dancing in the rain. And it was a horrible experience, but that's what it did for me. It freed me. So for a while after that, I'd be praying, I'd be like, Lord, help me with this, but please don't hurt me. But
that's crazy.
But yeah, it was a blessing in disguise.
Because then also yes, because you have opinions about you all the time. So you're better with it now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's I'm gonna get you
to love. You say you're in love now. People have so much opinions about your love.
Yeah. Yeah.
Never gets to you?
I think the only thing that gets to me is people saying that that I'm doing it for a PR stunt. I'm like, when have y'all ever known me to do anything for a PR stunt? When have I ever dated anyone for some money? Matter of fact, people that I've dated with money, I've not only not taken their money and made my own my entire life, but you haven't even known that I've dated those people. I would never do that. So that part of it's like, integrity wise, I'm like, but at the same breath, I think it has less to do with me and what people think about me. And I think it more has to do with projection, insecurity, judgment that really isn't based on the person, but is based on the person who's judging experiences and the things that have hurt them. So,
yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Talk to me about love though. How, do you feel like you're getting it right now?
I do.
What have you learned? I know we don't have that much time. We can go into this deep on a full IRL. But are you happy? Do you feel like you're like, I don't know, just love is working better for you in some way?
I think so. I think I've grown a lot. I think I'm still growing and I'm still learning, but I think that I've learned how to love with my full heart in a different level of vulnerability. I think that experiencing the divorce was my absolute worst fear in the world, was to get divorced after 10 years, the way that my mom did, and my husband leave me. And that's what happened. And once that kind of thing happens, and just for clarity, even though he left me, he's an incredible person. We're still friends. And neither one of us regret the marriage. We learned a lot, we grew a lot, we gave a lot. And I think we're both a lot better for it. So even if it was a season, there was definitely a reason. And we're both very, very thankful for it. But I think that because I had that fear, I didn't have the full capacity to give what I now have the capacity to give, because the worst already happened, you know? So it's like, we'll see what happens and just pray for the best. And, but there's no fear.
So you're like loving without fear. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That must feel good.
It does feel good. It's like, look, Lord, whatever it's going to be, it's going to be all right. It's going to be fantastic.
And you're having fun.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of fun, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. She said a lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
And then you do a movie called Divorce.
Yes.
In the Black.
Yes. Yes.
What do you want to tell us about that while we wrap up, before we talk to your co-star who's sitting outside?
Oh, I thought I had water in there. I was looking
you want water?
I was looking for my water.
Do we have a cup for her with no water? No, because all right.
That's right. We
can get you some. What do you want to tell me about Divorce in the Black? Divorce in the Black.
First of all, working with Tyler was incredible.
I bet.
Man,
did you go to his compound? Because I hear his compound is amazing.
I've been to his island.
His island.
In the Bahamas.
That's where the Royals went when they were having trouble.
Oh, I didn't realize that. No,
yeah, he like opened his place to them because paparazzi,
I did know that.
When they first moved, and he like reached out and was like, "If you want guys," so he supposedly like saved them. He gave them harbor.
I did hear about that. Yeah. I just didn't realize it was the island, but the island's incredible.
Imagine an island. Oh my God.
I know. Tyler's incredible though. He's a genius, and I took this on as like a challenge. I'm like, all right, here's what we're shooting it. I'm gonna memorize everything. I'm gonna be prepared for everything. We just had a great time doing it. And then working with Cory, who I've known forever, who is just such a sweet spirit and such a sweet soul, who's also going through a divorce. It was wonderful to be able to share that with him, because I've known him since we were like 17. And I know exactly the place that he's at. And I love to be able to stand next to him and say, better is coming, greater is coming. You are an incredible person with an incredible spirit, an incredible heart. And you know what? I think as a father, I think he forfeited a lot of things to be a good father and a good husband. And I think that now God's like, okay, now we're bringing it back around. Here's everything I promised you. You know?
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
What is your number one thing you learned about getting to the other side of divorce?
The number one thing.
Because you're so past it now, but I'm sure there was a point where you were down.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no, I know.
There was a point where for sure. I think the most important thing that I learned is that there is life and life more abundantly, no matter what. And when something ends, it just means that something else is beginning. And you have to have the attitude of gratitude. You have to trust God. You actually have to get excited for the next act of your life and be like, all right, Lord, what we doing? And, once I got to that space, the way that I've experienced life now, there's just so much more freedom. There's just so much more trust. There's just so much more, there's just not a lot of fear.
Good for you, baby.
It's always going to be okay, which is wonderful.
Our last in real life, what are you most proud of about yourself?
I think I'm most proud of being authentically me, unapologetically, and for being self-aware and growing to continue as I grow and continue and change. And I'm most proud of my capacity to love. I've had a massive capacity to love, even the stone thrower, even anybody who's hurt me or disappointed me. I have so much love that doesn't really come with conditions. And I think I'm really proud of that.
There she is, Meagan Good in real life. That's a beautiful thing to me, by the way.